Welcome everyone again to another session. We're gonna continue on our intermediate model. This is day 16, and we'll be focusing on the nested query. But this time around, I want to prepare your mind ahead of time. It's gonna be a bit more complicated. So if you don't get it one time, make sure you watch this video over and over until you get it, or wait for the next one and then we'll break things down a little bit more better, okay, using different concepts. But for now, let's quickly look at the use case and try to and solve the problem using that multiple nested queries. All right, so now the use case here is that product merchandising and commercial analytics teams need a clear view of which product meaningfully exceed their categories average revenue contribution. By calculating category level average revenue per product and then isolating items with revenue above that benchmark, stakeholders can quickly identify top performance and prioritize SKUs, investment, and guide category strategy with data-driven precision. So your task here, your action here, is to deliver a filtered list of products whose 2024 revenue exceed their category average revenue. Of course, you need to present that to the stakeholders, and there are a few other things you might still need to do. But for the purpose of this video, as you know, how we like to do it, basically we'll focus on that, solving this problem using our SQL skills. Okay, now that, let's quickly go over our template. Now the template here is that, what table are we talking about? Very related to what we did on day 15. So we're talking basically about the sales, but in this case the complication here is that we want to get the revenue per product and make sure that the revenue per product is higher than the average revenue per category. So how do we do that? Okay, so we have the sales table, very similar to all the various tables we talked about day 15, but we just need to be able to make sure we accommodate this particular filter within our calculation. So let's go to our lab and then let's solve this particular problem. All right, now we're gonna first of all start with what we had the day before. Okay, so this is what we had done before. We had two nested query here, so we're gonna copy this to day 16. All right, and then we're going to untrack it and run it just to make sure that we get exactly what we are looking for. I'm just going to uncomment, and then let's run that. You can see this is exactly what we had before. Now keep in mind that this is at the product category level, not even subcategory, but product category. So we're going to have to, we don't need this guy, so we're going to just remove this, and then here we're going to say at cart level. Okay, all right, and then here we also don't need these three at this point, and then we also don't need this converting it to properly formatting it like we did in the last video. So we're going to remove that, and we're going to say average revenue at cart level. Okay, but one thing we do need is that we need this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this guy and I'm gonna put a comma here. Just follow me closely. Let's remove all these guys so we don't need them. All right, okay, we don't need them. Okay, let's quickly do this. All right, okay, beautiful. So this is what we need, so we're going to run that again. Okay, it's like my mouse is giving me some problem here. Hopefully it cooperates. Okay, I'm just going to try and okay, so we are getting an error message. Okay, so let's see, it's okay. Yeah, I think we need to, okay, we had 1 and 2 here. Okay, Oh yeah, we need to change this guy. Okay, so we need to change it here. All right, so let's run that. Okay, still not working quite well. Oh, we need the total distinct. Okay, so we're gonna have to. Okay, so we need to do count the extent, and we call this p dot um, product id. Actually, we would use, let's use the det dot product id as. Okay, we need that for sure. Okay, so let's do this, copy, paste, and that should be it. Okay guys, this is great. So now this is exactly what we need. Okay, so now let's go back to, keep in mind that this is at the category level. So now we're gonna do almost the same thing, but we just need the inner query here. Okay, and then let's comment all of these out. Now we know what we need in this particular query, and then we're just gonna have another query here, and then here we're just gonna convert that to, let's format it properly to product level. So let's switch this over to product level, and we know this is our product, so we're just gonna do p dot product id. We definitely need that, and then we're gonna then say p dot name as product name. Okay, and that's exactly what we need to do. Beautiful guys, and we are only interested in revenue, so in this case we don't need this guy. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay, okay, perfect. So that's pretty much it. So let's run that. Awesome guys. So now what we now need to do is to compare, at the category level, which value is actually more than the average for those particular category. So how do we do that? Right now we're gonna have to treat this guy as a table. Okay, this is where it becomes a little bit complicated. Okay, but I want you guys to follow me closely, so you understand what we have done so far up to here. So now let's add a table as a query. Okay, so we'll do a left outer join. Okay, and then we would say this is the table, and it's already having two queries already. Okay, so we're gonna say, let's uncheck this. Beautiful guys. Okay, so now let's properly format it, because it might start looking a little bit complicated. We actually don't need this guy. Okay, all right, so now let's see. Okay, so you see this is for this bracket is for the first query here, so we're just going to make sure that we format it properly. Okay, I'm gonna format that. You know what, I'm gonna move it a little bit more because we're gonna still have more. You know what, let me leave it for now. Okay, so now basically we have one query, another query here, but we're treating this as a table. Okay, and then here we're gonna call this cat level. Okay, all right, and then we're gonna say join to this table using cat level dot. Okay, then we're gonna use this guy, cat category id, and then we're gonna reference the joins that we have already in this particular query using this cat. So we're gonna just do cat category id, so that way we can bring in the average at the category level. All right, beautiful guys. Now with these we can then reference comfortably all of the values that we have here, right? Especially these ones, the average revenue, right? But there is another challenge, right? Because this itself is a table, right? So there is no way for us to reference this within the where clause at the moment. So How do we do that? How do we do that? So we're going to now take everything that, let's run this first, make sure that it works. Okay, let me just pull in, let me pull in the average right now because we can access it right now. So we'll do cat level dot, we can access this average right now. So, okay, let's run that. Okay, there's a problem. We need to group it 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's run it. Okay, beautiful. Now, what we do need here is to say, okay, this is the average category for this. Okay, now is this value greater than this value? If it is greater, then that's what we're interested in, because that's what the business need. Okay, so how do we compare these two? Now we have to treat this again as another table. So with that, let's indent it properly. So everything we have now, we're going to treat it as another table. Now we're going to have select again. Okay, we'll do select star all columns from, and then we're going to have this. Okay, so everything we have here becomes our new table, and then we close it right now. Now we can now say where, this is where we can now compare both of them. We can now say where revenue, all right, is then greater than, okay, this particular one at the category level. Okay, all right, now let's run that. It should work. Beautiful. Now you can see all the values we have here should always be greater than this value. All right, now let's just order it. Let's order by 1, and that's pretty much it. And you can see this is looking great. That's exactly what we are looking for, guys. That's exactly what we are looking for. So if we go back to our solution, and then you can see 714, 715, that's exactly what we need. All right, so I know this is a little bit convoluted, but guys, as you grow and become more comfortable with this SQL, things can really get complicated. I want you guys to watch this solution over and over, make sure you understand it, and if you still find it a little bit unclear, feel free to put in your comments. However, in the next video as well, we're going to use a different concept to solve the same problem, and I hope with that new concept you can understand that one as well as relate to what we have currently. I'm sure you are learning a lot, and I want to say thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you in the next one.